someone on Twitter was just like, I like the pod.
Episode 7 of the Seige Mentality Podcast. As Seige said, we're not canceled yet. We're here every single week on a new day, by the way. Friday, we're recording this. Get a little instant reaction to Thursday Night Football, and, of course, go game by game, previewing all of Sunday with a little angle on every betting challenge. And all I got to say is thank God we canceled that running back challenge last week, Seige.
Yeah, if only you'd let me cancel it. Boy, I could have let you take another 3 running backs. I still don't think it would have made a difference.
I'd let you buy out of it. You know, I was 10-point lead.
Yeah, I should have. I once again, if being uber consistent in this contest, just choosing great players. You choose bad players. This is going to be a blowout. Lots of Duke dollars going to be in my pocket here probably by like week 10 or 11 at the rate you're going. Now that I know the rules, you're probably in trouble here.
You're so horrendous with your bets against the Bills. I think we're going to end up even, but I'm gonna have what?
Did the Bills end up covering?
Oh yeah. It was outright. You took them to lose outright. So
they were down the fourth quarter. They didn't even cover.
Harry there late.
They didn't cover. They did not cover.
They didn't need to.
I'm just saying. Yeah, they won by a measly little field goal. Miami is a good football team, as we saw last night. It was not a bad place to be.
Your Miami Dolphins.
They are my Miami Dolphins, I feel like. I think they're better than everybody else does. I even said that on the call. We were just doing our Circa Westgate picks, and I was just like, again, like, Dolphins are better than people think.
Certainly do a little Thursday Night Football, but as we talked about off the top here, Seige took me behind the woodshed in week 2 of our running back chat.
Your 4 guys did not outscore 2 of mine.
Well, here's the thing. Look, Saquon Barkley tears his ACL.
He got hurt as he was walking in the end zone. What are you yapping about?
And, CEH gets hurt. McCaffrey gets hurt but scores 2 touchdowns before he gets hurt. Henry drops a walk-in screen pass. Aaron Jones almost outscored my entire team. I was going to take Aaron Jones, and I took Saquon. I even said it on the podcast. I took Saquon.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda, loser.
I had the opportunity. Big 36.3 advantage from Seige there. It takes us down to 26 points. I think this is going to be the way it goes. Obviously, we see injuries is a big story in the NFL.
CJ is going to destroy it. Now that I know the rules, I'm going to beat you every single week.
Maybe.
And now that I actually know the game exists before the show, I can actually do some research.
Oh, my God. Listen. All you got to do is listen, man. But look, you've heard him. He's at the Seige DFS. Of course, I'm at Duke DFS. If you want to follow the podcast account,
you want to lose the running back draft already? Let's just get it out of the way.
At Seige Mentality. Before we do that, of course, we're sponsored by EliteFantasy.com and EliteSportsBetting.com for all of your DFS and sports betting needs. Everything's going on. NBA getting close to wrapping up. MLB head into the playoffs. A lot of good stuff over there, and our guys are on fire. Let's do it right off the jump here, Seige. Let's just go ahead and do it. We usually do it at the end. We'll do it now. Running back draft. I think I have the first pick. Is that right?
You have the first pick, and you can't take McCaffrey anymore.
And I can't take McCaffrey. So I'm going to take – of course, this is a snake draft. Seige will have the next 2 picks. With the first pick in week 3, I think I'm going to take Alvin Kamara.
I will take Zeke and Chris Carson, please.
Ooh, I have a take on Zeke, but we'll save that for the game-by-game breakdown here. I do love him. I'm going to take
I love the fact I'm getting the running backs in the 57 total. Just I love it. Love it.
A lot of running going on there. Let's see here. I will take Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I suspected you would. I thought about leaving Carson, but I just love him this week.
I figured I was going to take him because I know you love him.
Take him? Right,
I was going to take him.
Then I'm glad.
And I'll take Aaron Jones.
Okay.
So Seige now has his 3rd and 4th pick.
I will take.
If you don't take this one guy, I'm going to fall off my chair.
Miles Sanders.
There we go.
And does Cam Newton count as a running back? No.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to the Pats.
I'll take Devin Singletary.
Wow. That changes things for me.
No Zach Moss. He's going to get all the running work.
He is going to get all of the work. Man, Nick Chubb looks really good. I know they never have the ball, but I think it's going to be a pounded-out game. Man, do I take Dalvin Cook? Can I just take James Robinson? Call it good?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
You could take Chris Thompson if you want. I think
James Conner looks really good. I'm just going to take Dalvin.
I thought about James Conner. I just realized at the end, Singletary with all that work is going to.
I know. Connor's kind of the same way. Let's see here. I guess I'll take Dalvin Cook. They got to figure this out at some point, right? So there we go. I got Kamara, Henry, Aaron Jones, Dalvin Cook, chasing TDs apparently, and Siege has got Zeke, Carson, Sanders, and Singletary. Siege with what do you have? A 26-point-something point advantage on me right now. Need a big week.
26.2.
Long season though. Long season, 17 games, and wait,
it's gonna be over by like week 10 or 11 here.
We had one last night. Fun game, man. Jacksonville, Miami. After the banger week 1. Gardner Minshew turns back into Gardner Minshew. But I think the big story is Jag defense is no good. Anything you had from last night, Siege?
The Jaguars are bad. Their defense is terrible. Yeah, I'm just really kind of frustrated that, I had a bunch of Dolphins in showdown, and somehow it didn't work still because James Robinson just, like, I don't know what happened. There were a lot of people that were like, I had all these Dolphins onslaughts, and I didn't win. Yeah. It was basically like the guys who had the yardage didn't get the touchdowns, and the guys who had the touchdown didn't get the yard. It was just a really weird breakdown. It's like Preston Williams had like 2 catches for 6 yards and a touchdown. Gesicki had 1 catch for 5 yards and a touchdown, and it was just like it's just weird. Just weird with the game went out. But Dolphins are good. I look forward to betting them next week when they play. Oh, they got the Seattle at home. Oh, yes. I'm going to get like 7.5 with Miami.
I was going to say they'd probably be 10-point dogs.
I'm going to love Miami plus 7.5 or whatever I can get.
Siege, let me know what you think about this take. I think Fitzy and Minshew are in the same bucket, not in terms of the way they play.
Minshew's terrible.
Not in terms of the way they play, but they're going to look great one week and then awful the next week. Like
Fitzpatrick is good. He's perfectly good. The Dolphins figured out in week 2, if they just throw the football, they'll be fine. They figured it out. It took them 1 week too long. They should have figured it out in week 1 against the Pats. They probably could have beat the Pats in week 1 had they figured it out. But, yeah, I think this is definitely a spot where they can just go ahead and throw the football all the time and be good.
But this to me feels like
I still think the Dolphins can make the playoffs.
Yeah,
I still think the Dolphins are a playoff team. I really do.
I think you're just hunkered into like 18 of 20 for 2 touchdowns. Runs another one in. By the way, Jordan Howard just out here vulturing.
The second half. They threw the ball like 5 times in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Good win for the Dolphins. That's their first of the season. 1-2.
Seattle, San Fran, Denver. But after that, it gets pretty nice. There's a lot of winnable games.
I lost $1.75 last night. Threw 150 lineups into the small contest and did nothing. Basically, weird builds all over the place, got it done. But fun game. I think this might be our last fun game for Thursday night for a little bit here.
I'm so excited, Big Brother. Spoiler if you haven't watched last night's Big Brother, the Thursday night episode. But triple eviction next week, the first in franchise history. Thank God I have something else to watch other than Denver and Jets. I will be watching the triple eviction live.
This is not a Big Brother podcast, but Siege would 100% spend 60 minutes talking about it if we'd let him here.
Oh, 60? Like 120.
It's only an hour podcast. All right, let's touch on a few topics from week 3 quick before we move on, or week 2 quick before we move on to week 3. First of all, like we talked about, Thursday night football, Bengals-Browns was fun, man. Chubb and Hunt, quite the tandem. But I think the bigger story for me, at least, because I don't think the Browns are any good, Joe Burrow just has it, man. I don't know if they're going to win many games this year, but I think he's in a good spot with
I just love how he hates losing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's going to lose a lot, but I love how he just hates it.
I think he's in a similar boat to a lot of good quarterbacks where they grow up not losing much, even in college. Like Cam Newton fits into the bill, a couple others. He just verbalized what everyone else, I hope, thinks, but he literally hates losing.
Yeah. I don't think the Bengals are going to be bad. I think someone on this show projected them to go 500.
And so they won't, but
they might.
They might. They could. They could. Your Lions got absolutely bitch slapped all over the field by the
Packers.
Lions.
My Lions. How are they my Lions?
Your Lions. You love Patricia. You like the team.
Well, they haven't had their team yet. Galladay's been hurt.
I will say my boy Jeff Okudah got absolutely torched.
Yeah, he was not. I now understand why he wasn't listed as a starter. Holy moly! It's not good.
Falcons collapse, maybe the biggest story of the weekend. And let's talk about going for 2. I know it's been discussed.
There's nothing to discuss.
There is.
No, there's not.
What's your take? What's your take?
It's simple. The math says you do it. You do it.
You're an idiot. Look.
No.
They drive. Let's set it up. They drive down the field, score on a 10-yard pass. Dak to Schultz.
Colin Cowherd agrees with you. Therefore, I'm right.
39 to 30. People who say shit like that, like Chris Sims is an idiot, so therefore everyone is an idiot. Like, no, that's not how it works.
It is how it works.
For those who you had to have seen it if you're listening to this podcast, but 39-30, I think there's like what? How many minutes left, Siege?
6.
6? Yeah, something like that.
6, something like that.
Mike McCarthy follows the math and goes for 2, misses it.
Correct.
They're now down by 9. You say that's the right move. Here's my thing. If you make the extra point, you go down 8, right? From there, what do they have to do to tie the game? Stop Atlanta once, score a touchdown, convert a 2-point conversion. Right? That's 39-39.
Here's the problem. You have to convert the 2-point conversion. Going for 2 first, you now understand what you have to do the rest of the game. You're not dealing with incomplete information. You have complete information, right? If you go for 2 and you are successful, you know it is a simple one-possession game. You're down 7. Great.
What is
if
complete?
You're down 2 scores, you know you're down 2 scores, and you can call your timeouts differently. You can call your defensive schemes differently. You have the complete information to know, okay, this is what I need to do.
You know exactly what you need to do if you make the extra point. You have to stop Atlanta, score a touchdown, and convert a 2-point conversion.
But if you don't convert the 2-point conversion, what happens?
Okay, so let me
You've
let me
left
say
yourself
this.
no time to score again.
Here's what you have to do if you don't get it, right? And this is what obviously the Cowboys had to do. You have to stop Atlanta.
But you don't know that. You don't know that.
You do know that. If you go for 2 and you don't get it like they did, you had to, and this is what the Cowboys had to do. Stop Atlanta, score a touchdown.
Atlanta. You say stop Atlanta as if it's like you have to understand how can you give up a first down? Can you not give up a first down? Like you need to know that information. You need to know that, right? You have to call your defensive schemes accordingly of how much time do we have to stop Atlanta? Right? Do I have 3 plays to stop Atlanta, or do I have 6 or 7 plays to stop Atlanta? You call different defenses depending on that situation. That's why the math, and by the way, the math is undefeated. Math is better than whatever goes on in your brain.
It's literally not. It's literally not. What's the math? What's the percentage of going for 2 and getting it versus not getting it versus kicking an extra point and then going for, what is it, 3%?
That means if you don't go for 2, your team has a 3% chance less of winning the football game. That's bad.
That's undefeated?
Bad coaching. That is 3%.
Let me go through this. So stopping Atlanta, so how many plays you have to stop Atlanta? You have to stop Atlanta.
That's important information to have.
You have to score a touchdown. You have to convert the extra point. You have to recover the onside kick. You have to get in field goal range. You have to make a field goal. That's easier than stopping Atlanta, scoring a touchdown, and converting a 2-point conversion.
But the 2-point conversion has the same chance of being converted no matter when you go for it.
Correct.
So this idea that
what about the other things?
Harder.
How often do you recover an onside kick?
But you're assuming that you miss the 2-point conversion here every time. When you convert the 2-point conversion, which is the same percentage of you converting it later, the game is very simple at that point. And okay, we just have to score a touchdown and convert an extra point, right? When you go for 2 at the end, you give yourself less information to work with. It's really simple. This is a math 101. This is why props to Mike McCarthy around the balls to do it. Shame on the media for not understanding basic math. And it's why no one likes your broadcasts anymore. Everyone was looking for the alternative broadcast because you don't understand when you're down 9, you go for 2, and it's a no-brainer. Props to Mike McCarthy, who I used to mock all the time, for actually learning what the math is. Good job. He gave his team an optimal chance to win. And by the way, they won the football game.
I mean, you can't use that.
What do you mean? What do you mean? They knew exactly what they had to do. They knew they had to score
symphony
twice.
of errors by the Falcons that led them.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
matter. He put his team in a position to win because they knew they needed 2 scores, and they called plays accordingly, and it got the job done.
The Falcons let him go 76 yards in 1 minute and 8 seconds.
The onside kick. Can we stop blaming the Falcons for the onside kick? The onside kick is the coolest thing ever.
What the hell? That was awesome.
That was awesome. Can we just start giving them credit for that? It was like a cue shot. It was like a trick shot they would do with a pool table where the ball goes down and just slides to the right. It was awesome.
It was like sleight of hand. Everyone's standing around like, wait a minute. Now what do I do?
It was just awesome. The ball was like, oh, there's no chance it's going to go. And then it was like,
here's my problem with analytics. I can't, in my opinion, you can't be selective on when you use it. If you're going to say
you should always be optimal. You should always be
optimal. So you should be going for 4th down more. You should be punting less. You should be passing more. You should be.
That's what Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys are doing.
Is it? I mean,
yeah.
We'll see over the sample size of an entire season. I think.
Did you not see his quote the other day where he's like, "We're not going to try to slow the ball against Seattle. We have to just score more points."
We'll see how that works out. We'll get to that game breakdown.
It's going to work out pretty well for him, I think.
We'll get to that breakdown. Mike McCarthy, always you can take him at his word, just like when he lied in an interview, like people do going to work at Staples. And then in the press conference says, actually, I didn't study anything. I just told Jerry that to get the job. So that's your boy. All right, good discussion there, Seeds. Let's get to week 3. A lot to get to here. Raiders at Pats. We'll start with your Pats. -6, I think, is the latest line. Raiders a little banged up. Josh Jacobs not practicing. Darren Waller not practicing. Look, I'm not saying Derek Carr is good to great, but he's been pretty damn good. 28 of 38, 3 touchdowns.
He was awful. Stop.
Raiders 2-0.
He was awful in that game. It was dink and dunk, dink and dunk, dink and dunk, dink and dunk. Like, you're not going to win any real football games doing that. You could beat a beat down Saints team that gave you the game before the half. They were in control of the game. Then Drew Brees throws that, I have no idea what he was looking at, interception.
Yeah.
Raiders score, changed the entire complexion of the game. They were in control early. They just played a really bad second quarter, let the Raiders back in it. And then, they finally just weren't able to move the ball on offense without Michael Thomas. But again, this is a very one-dimensional Vegas team. I promise you that the Patriots are not going to let Derek Carr dink and dunk down the field. They'll have some zone coverages that he'll screw up. He'll throw a couple picks. I think the Pats losing the center, David Andrews this week, is definitely a loss.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think the Patriots are able to cover the 5.5 here. I think this is a good spot for them to kind of win by 10, convincing win. Hopefully get that passing game a little bit going because they got some tough games coming up. I'm
actually on the same side as you. I have the Pats by 100 here, but a lot of ball washing with Cam Newton and the Pats, people calling them unstoppable now that he's there. They literally would just stop. They're 1-1.
To be fair, he screwed up the play. It was like he could have just kicked it out and walked in backwards. He just didn't see it.
That was one of those live. I'm like, shit, they got stopped. Then you see the replay from behind, kind of like the Breeze interception you were talking about, where you're going, oof, that was bad.
Yeah. I mean, they should have ran that to the large side of the field, too. I don't know why they didn't run that to the open side of the field. I think Cam's more likely to kick that out if they run that play to the large side of the field. So, whatever. I mean, it's a play I wanted to run. Like, it hadn't been stopped yet. Like, you got to try it.
As a Pats fan, how are you feeling about the balance of the offense? Threw it 44 times, ran it 25. Cam's a leading rusher.
I think with James White being, tragically not able to play last week.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, that just
unbelievable.
That just wasn't part of the game plan, right? I suspect he had a large role in the game plan, and you saw that's why Rex Burkhead played a ton last week. I think this week it'll be a little more balanced between him and JJ Taylor and some Sony Michel near their goal line. If they don't decide to just abuse Cam again, I think we're gonna see him try to throw the football this week. They've got the Chiefs coming up. They're gonna need to throw the football to have some success in that game. So I think they're going to throw the football a little bit more here than people think, because I think they will be in control here. I do think they'll get some opportunities to just work on the passing game.
Yeah, game flow is so dependent on how he produce. I totally whiffed on Julian Edelman. Just side note, I had 0 shares, like a total idiot.
I didn't expect Cam Newton to be like this accurate passer that could just hit Edelman over the field whenever he wants.
Insane.
So.
All right, we're both on Pats there. Rams at Bills. My Bills. Like you said, no Zach Moss this week. You obviously have grabbed Singletary in a running back draft. My Bills, your Rams, what do you got?
If the Rams had stayed on the East Coast this past week, I would love the Rams in this spot. I just have no idea what the flying from Philly to LA on Sunday, then flying back to Buffalo on Saturday is going to do. That's 2 cross-country flights in 6 days. There's a reason why these teams put these games back-to-back in a normal season so they can stay on the East Coast and not put their players through that. That being said, the Rams are very good. They're they're 5-0, playing at 1 p.m., flying west to east. They're way better than the rest of the teams that fly west to east. The other teams are like 40% against the spread. The Rams are at like 70-something. So they play well west to east. This is a game I have no strong take on. I think the Rams win the game, but this is a game I'll probably hop on live. I don't have a good feel for this.
Yeah, Jared Goff's been really good. By the way, shout out to Malcolm Brown and all the people who went out and traded for him, like 2nd, 3rd round value players for a guy who had 1 good week in week 1. Yeah, 11 carries, 47 yards,
Darrell Henderson
0 catch.
Good. Like he was good at coming out of Memphis. Another one of those Memphis kids, and he really struggled last year adopting from the zone blocking from the man to the zone blocking scheme. looked like he got it figured out last week. He looked good. So I like the Rams offense. I just don't know where the energy is going to, I just don't know.
If not for Russell Wilson, the league MVP, Josh Allen, 415 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0
regression
turnovers.
Regression alert.
I actually like the Rams here. I have them winning outright as well. So unfortunately, we're on the same side there. 2, Texans at Steelers.
This is not a high confidence pick. Like if this was a 1 to 10 confidence, I'm at like a 0.5.
What I'm seeing is early success for the Bills and then just lack of team focus and letting teams hang around. I don't know why. Maybe it's a small sample size thing, but I'm not loving what I'm seeing.
I'm looking forward to watching this game. This is one I'm looking forward to watching. Not a lot of good 1 o'clock games this week, but this is one of the.
What the hell is the NFL doing, by the way? Can we spread these games out a little bit?
5, we do. We have 5 this week. Or 4. Yeah,
4 I think we have 4 at the 405, right?
No, we have 5.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so we do have a little more spread up.
Let's get to those. Texans at Steelers. Steelers -4, 45 total here. A couple guys on the offense banged up. It should be okay. Brandon Cooks, Duke Johnson, Laramie Tunsil. Bill O'Brien's contract runs through 2022. Is he like -1,500 to not see that out?
I think people are overreacting to how bad Houston's been. They've played the 2 best teams in the AFC.
At the Chiefs and hosted the Ravens, right? Tough start.
Tough start, and I think people are very much overrating this Pittsburgh team. I actually like Houston to win this game outright. I had to put them in my pick pool because some other people like Pittsburgh. Foolishly, I think they lose this game outright. I don't know what the obsession with Pittsburgh is. This is a team that barely beat a horrific Giants team in week 1, barely beat Jeff Driscoll. Jeff Driscoll and the backup Broncos. Like I had a big stand on Broncos last week, and it somehow came through with no Courtland Sutton or Drew Lock. I think people are just overrating this Pittsburgh team. I think it's really the defense they're overrating. They're not that good. I think Houston's gonna be able to get some points on the board. So I like Houston to win this game outright. I think Big Ben makes a mistake in a game that's a 1-score game to cost him that.
Well, shit, we're on the same side once again. I don't know about winning outright. I do think the Texans are ahead at some point in this game. I like the +4 points here. Once again, kudos to everyone sniffing Benny Snell's jock. Did he even get a carry last week?
As a James Conner owner, last week is exactly what the doctor called for.
Stop overreacting to week 1, people. Oh, my God. All right, we're both on the –
Are you calling Ricky out? Ricky played Benny Snell in DFS last week.
Yes, very much so.
Wow.
DFS though, like depending upon roster, if you're building one lineup and you play Benny Snell,
there was no reason to play Benny Snell last week. Just own it.
Yeah.
Own the hate.
I had 0 shares of Benny Snell last week.
Of course not. Anyone who hadn't temporarily lost their mind.
Okay, there we go. You almost said without a brain.
That would not be true. Ricky's very smart. But,
Ricky's very sharp. Of course, we got to give him shit because he's so right all the time.
As someone who's lost their mind and gone over the cliff at 1 or more occasions, I know what it looks like, and that's what it looked like.
49ers at Giants. We just found out some news right before recording the podcast that may change this breakdown a little bit. Niners are 3.5-point road favorites, 41 low total, 41.5. Nick Mullins is going to start. Jimmy G is out. We just found out George Kittle has been ruled out as well. Mostert, D. Ford have been out all week. A lot of injuries here on the Niners side, but the Giants lose Saquon. This is a weird game to me. Where you at, Seige?
I kind of think the 49ers are going to be able to get up 2 scores early and then just kind of manage it. I think Nick Mullins is almost as good a quarterback, if not better, than Daniel Jones.
Whoa.
Daniel Jones is bad. I know the San Fran defense got plastered last week, but they still were good against the Jets. Like, it's not like they were bad after all those injuries. The Giants offense without Saquon, not much better than the Jets. It's better, but it's not much better. I think San Fran's going to try to ground and pound this. And we saw last week David Montgomery had a big week. I think Jeff Wilson, Jerick McKinnon. I don't know how much they're going to play McKinnon on that turf coming off all those knee injuries. I think it could be a lot of Jeff Wilson, maybe even some Hasty. But I think San Fran's able to run the ball, control the clock, win this game by 7 to 10.
That's you know what? I think you hit the nail on the head because I was on the Niners before the Kittle news. I'm now moving towards the under. I like the Niners side. I'm just trying to figure out where the Giants are going to get points from. So at that point, I'll just take the under.
Coverage.
Yeah,
I could see that. Slayton just destroying the middle. I could see it, but I don't know. They feel pretty one-dimensional. I think the San Fran should be able to figure that out.
Titans at Vikings. Titans a 3-point road favorite here. Jonnu Smith back in practice. Probably still tired from his early touchdown. And then, what a week for Jonnu Smith. A.J. Brown, as far as I know, still out. Obviously we talked about it. Kind of a fluky performance for Tannehill. No A.J. Brown. Henry usually tears up the Jags. Tannehill throws for 1,000,000 yards. This game flow, to me, is the interesting piece, Siege. I looked this up. Let me give you a stat because the Vikings defense can't get off the field, right? So I looked it up. 2020 time of possession, to give you an idea, the Packers lead the league. They've had the ball in offense for an average of 38 minutes and 1 second. Again, 2 games, small sample size, but 38 minutes, 1 second. If you had to guess what the Vikings time of possession is through their 2 games, take a guess. 15-minute quarter, 60-minute game.
24?
20 minutes and 9 seconds. They're more than 3 minutes behind the 31st team, the New York Jets, who are at 23.
That's going to regress, though, and actually Tennessee can't get off the field themselves.
Tennessee doesn't want to get off the field. They want to run the ball.
No, I mean on defense. They can't get off the field fast enough. Like, Minnesota can just march down the field. Like, remember why we thought the Jaguars offense, or let me phrase that. Some people thought the Jaguars offense was good. It was because they faced this Tennessee defense and tore it apart. And Denver has success if Jerry Jeudy had just caught the ball. I think Minnesota's going to be able to do whatever they want on offense here, whether that be Cook, whether that be Thielen. Look, Cousins had a bad week. It happens. I think he'll rebound in this spot. I actually like the Vikings to win this football game. I know that Henry's going to be in a smash spot, but I just don't trust Tannehill in the passing in this offense yet. I know that they did well last week, but again, that was against a defense that I really just don't respect at all in the Jaguars. So kind of need to – and I don't respect this Minnesota defense, but just a little bit more. So I think the Vikings get this win at home. It's 2-0 at 0-2. I think the Vikings season's on the line here. I think they show up and put up their best effort to date.
Yeah, I think the Vikings have been just behind the 8 ball. We haven't really seen what they want to do on offense because they're constantly chasing the game when they finally get it back. It's not a pick I'm, going all in on or anything, but giving up 3 points on the road is tough. I just think the Titans have the ball the entire time. Derrick Henry rushes for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns like he should have done last week.
Hopefully no one plays him in DFS because, he's in a great spot again this week.
Washington football team at the Cleveland Browns. Browns are a 7-point favorite. Denzel Ward on the injury report. Conklin should be a full go.
Overreaction, doesn't it?
It does. I have Washington +7.
That's right. I don't know. I'm pretty much I'm on the fence here. This is the team that I'm higher on than most. I like both these teams more than most. That being said, I think Washington's getting a smidge over. I think the overreaction to Arizona game is a little high. Arizona's defense is good. I said this after week 1. They came in week 2 and performed really well again. People still don't believe in it. This total's 55.5. There's a lot of respect for this Detroit offense. We'll get to that game in a bit, but I think if I had to lean, I would take Washington +7, but there's just no reason for me to bet this game.
Yeah, I think the Cards are going to make a lot of teams look silly. I don't think they're going to be consistent week to week, but that offense, that defense, they're going to look really good. This D-line is where it comes down to, right? For the football team all year long, can they stop this Browns offense? I think we're overreacting a little bit to how good the Browns looked against the Bengals. Keep in mind, they gave up 30 points to the Bengals.
Yeah, it's not great.
And so, not a strong lean here, but we're on. Have we been different on anything? I guess we were different on the Titans, Vikings, but pretty much on the same page here. Speaking of the Bengals at Eagles. Eagles -4.5, 46 total here. Alshon Jeffrey's back in practice. Will he be good to go?
No, I think he's playing this week.
Yeah, he's just back. Lane Johnson should be back, which is big, obviously, for the Eagles. Bengals, I think they're going to be a teaser team all year long. They're just backdoor covering all year long. 4.5-point underdogs here on the road. I don't know how pretty it's going to be, but I got the Bengals +4.5.
I'm pretty indifferent on this game. I think Lane Johnson being back is a big addition, as you mentioned. I don't trust the Bengals to stop Philly. I think this does come down to like a backdoor drive, and I'm just not going to bet anything I kind of think comes down to that. So just kind of a pass for me. I hope Miles Sanders is going to have a good week. I like this spot for him, but again, I'm not super gung ho about this.
I thought he looked good last week. My issue is at the quarterback position. Carson Wentz stinks. He stinks.
I've been on this train for years. I think Carson Wentz is overrated. So, but I don't trust this Bengals defense. He should be fine in this spot. I know Rager's out, but I think they'll be all right. I'm not freaking out here. I don't have a strong opinion in this game. The next game, though, my strongest opinion of the week.
No, we'll definitely get to that. Before we do, Arcega-Whiteside, he was a guy who has been chatted up by Doug Peterson. He was touted a little bit in the preseason as
Make
kind of
him
this buy
prove it
low.
to me, please.
What the hell do we do? Is he ever going to be
No.
relevant?
Just don't play him. He's not good. Move on.
You got to – I don't think you want to be the first guy to get it right? You're going to lose a lot of money that way. Just wait to see it.
Right.
Yeah, Carson Wentz not good. Don't love his weapons. Miles Sanders looked good, but,
I think if I had to pick, I would lean Philly.
I'm taking that backdoor cover. I wouldn't be shocked to see the Bengals win this game. Sounds crazy,
I wouldn't be shocked either.
Yeah.
No, confidence level, like a half.
How about a confidence level on this game, Siege? The last
100.
game of the 1 o'clock window. The Chicago Bears at the Falcons. Falcons -3. Big bounce back week here, obviously, after the huge collapse when Mike McCarthy follows the math. Falcons are banged up. Outside of just being kind of average all over the place.
Love the Falcons.
Fowler, Julio, Ricardo Allen, Kendall, Sheffield, all DMPs at practice all week. The 2-0 Chicago Bears. Where are you at with this game, Siege?
I love the Falcons in this spot. I think this is a Falcons win by 15 to 20 spot. I love everything about this. This is a 2-0 team traveling to an 0-2 team. I really like the Falcons offense. I think they're better. The Bears are still getting credit for beating the Lions in week 1 for reasons that I don't understand. Their defense has done nothing to stop anyone. Like, they almost lost to Daniel Jones and Dion Lewis. That's unacceptable. These Falcons, look, they've definitely had their issues on the defensive side of the ball. But Mitch Trubisky's not the one that's going to just outscore Matt Ryan. It's not happening unless the Falcons season is just over again after week 3. I think the Falcons come out and put up their best effort on defense and offense. I love the Falcons in this spot. I was very adamant for them on the call that I just got off of, and I put a couple chips down on we need to take a stand here on the Atlanta Falcons. I love this spot.
I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but once again, we are on exactly the same side here.
This one, some of the other ones you're wrong, but I'm going to go to my grave I'm going to my grave on the Falcons. Like, I almost took them in Survivor. Like, that's the amount of over the Colts. That's the amount of confidence I had in the Atlanta Falcons.
My thing is,
I didn't do it, but
what have people seen from the Bears to like them here? The only thing I'm worried about is that it's only 3 points. Because I'm going, what am I missing here? Keep in mind,
it's up to 3.5. They'll probably be 4 by kickoff. Don't worry about it.
They beat the Lions.
It's a 2-0 versus 0-2. Like, the public's like, oh, the Bears are getting points. They're 2-0. This is great.
They beat the Lions, which they had to score 21 points in the fourth quarter to do so. They beat the Giants.
4th and 5th corners.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how big this is. I think this isn't. Well, we could see Matt Ryan go off again. I mean, I don't think he's going to throw for 400 yards here because he's not going to have to. Falcons constantly chasing the game. Not with this Bears offense. I kind of like the under too. Is it still 47?
I could see 35-13. Like, yeah, I could see Atlanta just putting.
I was going to say 35-10, something like that.
I could just see a big number coming up from the Falcons.
Yeah. Love the Falcons here. All right, let's move on to the 4 o'clock window. Like Siege said, we actually have a few more games to talk about
one
here.
One of them doesn't really count as a football game. So.
True. Jets at Colts. Colts -11.5. 44 points. I just remember Andrew Luck retired like last year, was it? Yeah. Crowder doubtful. Fant, McGovern have some issues on offensive. Are they out? Out. That's huge.
Harriman's out.
Jack Doyle still limited. Maybe that's the one issue for the Colts.
He returned to practice today, didn't
he? He's limited. He's not. He didn't get a DMP, but he was limited in practice.
I mean, they're 11.5-point favorites. I would just hold them out a week. They're not losing.
That's a lot of points, but I think Sam Darnold throws 2 picks.
How many points are the Jets going to score this week?
Less than 11.
That's exactly what I said on the call. I said, like, the Jets get 11 points is nice. I was like, that's great. If I had confidence they could score 11 points.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think if you had bet in this game, you have to take the Colts. But I wouldn't want to bet. I mean, I don't like laying 12 points in the NFL, like, ever. But this Jets team is atrocious. They're a train wreck. How this guy has a job. I mean, I know we'll be the 1,000th people to tell you that this week, but he's just so bad.
Yeah, Gase is a joke. T.Y. Hilton, over 100 yards and a touchdown here.
Oh, you think the grandma narrative's real?
No, I think the T.Y. Hilton's been a complete shadow and a ghost all year is real, and so they have to get him involved here. No better spot than against the Jets.
That is true. Jonathan Taylor, strong DFS play.
God, he is good, man.
I just can't believe that Hines just played no snaps. I was stunned.
Is that a 1 week thing, or do you think
I don't
that's?
know. I'm pretty. I mean, like last week I had a bunch of Hines, so watch me play all the Taylor this week, and Hines magically
And then
reappeared. But Wilkins was getting work too, so I don't know. I'm surprised. Hines looked good. I don't know what he did deserve to get benched. So I'm not totally. I mean, the game flow was just really good for the Colts. They really didn't need a pass catching back, and it's not going to get better than game flow wise for Jonathan Taylor than against the Jets.
This Colts backfield's been a mess for 2 years. Then Matt gets injured. You think it's going to clear up a little bit. Wilkins comes in, and all of a sudden,
I had like no Jonathan Taylor in best balls, and like, that's a disaster. Like
brutal.
He had no touches until Matt got hurt too. So like, it was going to be a fantastic fade. But
I had to drop Matt. By the way, we're playing each other in our staff league. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know. And my team is just so good. It's so loaded.
Off to a really hot start with Gesicki with 1 catch, 1 touchdown. You luck box son
he
of a gun.
He should have been 2. The guy tackled him in the end zone. It should have been 2.
Mike Gesicki, backup tight end for the Miami Dolphins.
He's not a backup tight end. This is the most egregious take you've had. Why the hell do we give you a show?
Panthers at Chargers. Chargers 6.5-point favorites. Wow, 43.5. Tyrod. How about Tyrod getting a punctured lung, getting a pain needle for cracked ribs?
14.5 on a Myles Gaskin. Good Lord.
Yeah, man. And I switched him in last second for DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, which was a terrible decision. But
big brain stuff over here.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift's going to have a monster week, but we'll get there in a second.
If only we had a flex position to bring him in. My wide receivers are so stacked. Not going to talk about our fancy football teams, but
yeah, you should definitely. Yeah, why don't you bench Traquan Smith or Swift?
I'm not going to lie, Siege.
You should play Jerry. Your entire bench is better than the guy you have in your starting lineup. Good job. Good effort.
We'll see who's winning at come Monday night. I thought Herbert looked all right last week.
Can we throw some bonus bucks at this matchup?
No.
There's the confidence level of his team. He's projected to win via ESPN, and he's like, absolutely not. I'm
going to win. I'm I'm worried about this running back battle. That's what I'm worried about. I think I might go broke on this damn thing.
You are going to go broke on this thing.
Hey, I thought Herbert looked all right last week. Sounds like Tyrod's going to miss at least another week.
They've
already said he's going to start.
College. That was just like, I didn't see that guy. Like, that guy was not a guy that I saw in college. Like, accurate, quick decisions.
See, I think I'm the only – I've said this to a few people. I thought he was going to be an NFL starter. I don't think he is right now. But I think he will be eventually. He has the talent.
Carolina's not the defense that it's going to go wrong against, right? So it's like I'm just really hoping he doesn't throw the pick 6 to just screw the 6.5 up. I lean the Chargers here. Their defense is really good. I don't think Carolina's going to be able to score here. But I'm looking for like the spot. Maybe it's next week against Tampa. I don't love their defense. The Saints on October 12th is absolutely the spot where like the Herbert train comes to a complete halt if it hasn't already. So then after that, Jets, Dolphins, Jaguars, man, pretty soft schedule for the Chargers. So I like the Chargers minus 6.5 here. I don't have any faith in Carolina.
That just feels like a lot of points for a rookie quarterback.
I know, but that just shows you how bad Carolina is.
Yeah. Teddy Bridgewater throws for 367 yards on 42 passes. Obviously, McCaffrey is now out. It's, to me, I have the Panthers plus 6.5, but I'm going to click submit and then never look at it again. I'm not even going to look at a box score and just hope my account.
Chargers are one of our core plays in Circa this week, so.
Again, sometimes you just got to put it in and absolutely hate it. And the taste in my mouth is a mix of spoiled milk and, my baby's throw up on my chest.
Chargers win by 17. You're just like, why the hell did I take
Exactly. They may win by 28, and I'll go, what a waste of money that was. But I don't know, man. Rookie quarterback, he's finally got some film out there. It's not like he was spectacular either, right? He was
pretty good.
He was serviceable.
He was pretty good.
I mean,
and also, too, the Chargers should be able to just run on Carolina like all day and all night.
I'm the more I look at it, I absolutely hate that pick. It's not one I'm going to put a ton of money on, but yeah, I guess we can probably move on from that game. Kind of maybe the grossest game of the weekend. I was thinking Colts-Jets, but Panthers-Chargers, there's no chance I watch this game.
I mean, not compared to that's just because of the other games that are out there in this window. There's 2 good games on this window.
Yeah, let's get to them. Lions at Cardinals, Cards -6. Already talked about how good the Cardinals have been on defense. 55.5-point total here.
This is too high.
Galladay was limited, but looks like he may make it back. Cards are good. Lions stink. Is it as simple as that?
I don't think the Lions are as bad as people think, but I think the Cardinals defense is better than people think. That defensive line against the Lions offensive line, I think, is a big problem spot. Stafford under pressure makes mistakes, and I think Arizona's in a position to take advantage of it. I also think Detroit's going to try to slow this game down. Like, I don't think they want to play a track meet against Arizona. So we look at the Lions. They haven't run a ton of plays these first 2 weeks. I think they try to slow this down, try to do some check down stuff to Swift. I actually like Swift this week. I think he's kind of a guy, if they're behind, could definitely catch them. He's the pass catching guy, can dink and dunk his way to a big box score. So he's a guy I will have some DFS exposure to even. So yeah, I like Arizona here. I think they win by 10-14. But there's definitely backdoor concern here. But I just have faith that Arizona can make the stop.
Yeah, I can't disagree with anything you said there. My big question is your guy, Patricia. Isn't he a defensive guy? Where the hell is their defense? They give up 27 to the Bears in the fourth quarter.
All his starting corners are out. Like, it's tough to play a defense when you don't have any corners.
Next man up.
They were okay, but like, it's week 2. They didn't have any preseason. Like, next man up. Like, it's a lot harder to be next man up when you haven't done any tackling or any practice. Like, I'm not. I don't know. Maybe I'm a Patricia defender, but I'm not blaming the Bears' loss on him. And the Packers are a better football team, so I don't know.
The tough part is it's not a 2-game sample size, right? It's been Patricia's whole career there.
But like, they haven't had talent his whole career. Like, Stafford was out 8 games last year, and they were decent before that. Like, I don't know. I get it. Like, sometimes you just get unlucky. Like, players don't stay healthy for you, but I don't think he's as bad as people think.
This is not a game I have a ton of confidence in. Where are you with your? I'm on Cards -6 as well.
I like Cardinals a fair amount here. Yeah, I think
okay.
They're a solid play.
Buccaneers at Broncos. I have a lot of questions for you on this game. Obviously, unfortunately,
I don't have any answers for you.
Courtland Sutton out for the year. Drew Lock is out. Philip Lindsay didn't practice on Thursday. Jerry Jeudy's limited. Buccaneers -6 on the road. Feels like a lot of points, even against the Broncos that are very depleted. I'm just going under here, under 43. Don't love Jake Driscoll in any sense of the words. I mean, I guess it's good for me with
Jeff Driscoll.
What's that? Jeff Driscoll. What'd I say?
Jake Driscoll.
Jake Driscoll. I don't know, man. Do you have a strong lean on this at all? Either way?
No.
What do you make of Tom Brady and the Buccaneers so far?
I don't trust Tom Brady as far as I can throw him, and I can't throw him very far.
By the way, you're knocking dink and dunk. What did Tom Brady do for the last 10 years?
Dink and dunk with actually good scheming.
That's a key difference.
And he had Randy Moss for some of those years. He could throw deep a couple of those years.
Those are fun. Jeez.
Those were fun years. I think I would have to take the points here with Denver, but I don't feel great about it. I don't trust Tom Brady in Denver. Denver's been a house of horrors for him. And I just don't really trust this Tampa team yet. So I think I would take Denver, but yeah, this is not going to be a pretty game.
Obviously, Leonard Fournette looked great last week, but it's the Panthers. 12 for 103, 2 touchdowns. Ronald Jones absolutely cucked by Fournette here. He did get in the end zone once.
Because he fumbled. So, like, I don't know what that workload's going to be again this week. So it's tough.
I mean, does Fournette boost him enough? I just haven't seen anything from Tom Brady yet. It's 2 games.
I just feel like you have to take the 5.5. This is you talked about the Carolina being the gross.
Yeah, this is your puke in your mouth.
This is just like, this is just kind of like the submit and just don't watch the game and find out what happened later.
We should have our once a week puke in your mouth pick of the week for both of us. We both have one here. Let's talk about the game I literally cannot wait to watch.
Oh, this total's too low. It's
Cowboys at low. So wait a minute, you're taking Broncos in the points. I'm on under 43 there.
We can take totals?
Yeah, if you want to.
Take totals.
Yeah, take totals, man. This is my second or third total I've taken.
Oh, I just thought you were just being afraid to make a stand. I didn't realize we were actually allowed to do that.
Oh, no, yeah. Go nuts, man.
Oh.
It's our show. We can do whatever the hell we want.
Arizona's probably the under
then. Cowboys at Seahawks. Seahawks -5. A lot of points. 55.5.
Over.
Is the total.
It's 56.5, 57. Over.
Siege is going way over.
Way over. I've already got some alt totals over that I got earlier in the week. Just like some in the 60s. I actually might add a 70s to it too. Over. This game's going to be just up and down the field. As you saw in my running back draft, I took Zeke and Carson. Up and down the field. Just up and down the field. Over and over and over again.
So you think mostly running the ball? Catching the ball in the backfield?
I think it's going to be throwing, dump downs, some designed runs that get 15 yards because everyone's in freaking dime defenses. I just think this is going to be up and down the field. It's going to be a blast to watch. I think in DFS there is a chance that I have 100% of Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott and do not play any other quarterbacks.
Wow.
It's not a lock, but I will be cutting. If I do that, I will cut my volume down because I don't need to just fire $5,000 or whatever on just one game. But this game is just so much better than everything else that I grade. Like, I have this number at 62 for the total. Like, that's what I came out, and I know a couple people have it even higher than that I respect. I just think that these quarterbacks are going to throw. They have rushing touchdown upside themselves. Number of plays in this game is going to be through the roof, and I just don't like. Sure, like other quarterbacks can win, but I just don't think these guys are going to be bad. Like, I just don't see where like they aren't good enough to win a tournament, and there's just a lot of downside in some of these other games. So I'm very much considering it. I don't know if I'll actually do it. I think I will at the end of the day add a little Kyler and add a little Cam, but it's going to be that most of my DFS exposure is going to be Dallas, Seattle. It's going to be just all sorts of different combinations of it, and then sprinkle in other guys.
Yeah, I guess there are some pivots available if you move off that late or needed to pivot a little bit with Kyler there.
I'll have so much exposure that it won't matter. Like, my day won't be determined anyways until that game happens. So it's not like I'm going to be swapping off of it. Like,
my only thing, and why I didn't go Zeke number one overall, has been the Seattle defense. Not even really the defense. The offense. It's the Seattle offense. I mean, if Zeke catches 7 balls, right, then bravo. I just don't see it happen. Chris Carson, what's he going to do? What do you have, 7 carries last week? 6 carries? Or week one against the Falcons?
What did he do through the air?
Very touchdown dependent. 2 touchdowns in week 1, 1 touchdown in week 2.
These teams aren't going to score any touchdowns this week then.
So you think Chris Carson's going to catch another ball out of the backfield? What's that prop?
The guy hasn't even had any rushing touchdowns yet. He's going to have some positive regression in that department.
He did have 17 for 72 against the Pats. Seattle giving up 67 yards to the Patriots rushing and just 72.
But that's not true. Cam Newton ran for all day, all night.
Seattle gave up 67 yards to the Patriots.
Sony Michel's a shell of himself. Like
2.7 yards per carry. Cam Newton did give up 2 rushing touchdowns to Cam Newton there.
I just this game is going to be up and down the field. You just want as much exposure to everyone in this game. You just want exposure to everyone. I love Chris Carson. He's going to be one of my highest on DFS players.
DK Metcalf, obviously having a hell of a year, strong rookie year last year. You looking to go to him as well as part of some stacks there, both ways?
When I said all of them, I literally mean all of them. All of it.
What about Greg Olsen? Any interest in Greg Olsen?
No. All right. But fine, that's where I draw the line.
There we go. I knew I'd get one out of you. It's going to be a fun game, man. Do you have a lean either way on the side?
Or something to get me to draw the line.
Do you have a lean either way on the side? The Cowboys, I can't see them covering this.
I would probably lean Cowboys because I just think it's going to be an absolute shootout, one-score game. But
I'm just not too sure how good the Cowboys are yet. I'd probably lean Seattle.
I think they're good.
Do you?
They just fumbled the ball a couple times. Like, they outplayed the Falcons all of the other 3 quarters in that game.
Was that the first half where they had like 3 fumbles back to back to back? First quarter, yes.
At the end of the first quarter. They actually played – the defense, was kind of left out to dry.
The good thing is we're so early in the season that there's just overreactions all over the place and we can find value on the board. But, yeah, I'm on the over as well. I had over 55.5.
Yeah.
63 was a lot. Holy shit. It'd be fun if we got up there. All right, let's move on to Sunday Night Football. Last game of the podcast here, Packers at Saints. My Packers, to me, this comes down to Devontae Adams. Does he play? He's missed a couple practices this week. Obviously, Michael Thomas is still out. I don't even have an official play on this. If Adams is in, I love the Packers. I'll take them to win outright.
I like the Packers to win outright regardless.
Regardless? Man, he eats up so much. You think Aaron Jones has a good week? I hope he does. He's in my running back draft.
I think he could have a very good week.
Saints, what can we make of the Saints? Kamara obviously is a monster.
Kamara's a great play, but again, it's just one of those things you just don't know what you're going to get.
Is Drew Brees done?
That's one bad game. He doesn't have Michael Thomas. He's been relying on him so much for so long. I'm not freaking out yet. I want to see what they do this week.
Yeah, I love when he gets back there on his tippy toes. He's trying to look over the line. He's been doing it for so long.
So many good players against you in our fantasy matchup too. You're going to get destroyed.
You're going to get smoked. You're going to get smoked in the running back battle. You're going to get smoked in fantasy.
Calvin Ridley against the Bears. Lockett against Dallas. Sanders against Cincinnati. I've got Matt Ryan too. Kareem Hunt. Woo! I have so many good options. I want to start Jerick McKinnon or Deshaun Jackson or Russell Gage. I got all the options against you. All the options.
There you go, Russell Gage. Look, let's end on that. End on the Gage talk. There it is. We covered a lot of ground today. Obviously, that's the entire Sunday lineup. We did not get to Monday Night Football. We're not going to cover that probably ever. Let us know what you think about the Friday release.
I'll even have it's going to be a good football game just watching it.
Yeah. Let us know what you think about the Friday release. This is probably our schedule moving forward here. Just kind of recap the Thursday night game and then preview the weekend games here. Instant reactions, what we're looking for. If you can, please subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a review. 5 stars would be appreciated, and a comment. It really does help us out. But we do appreciate you guys listening. Seige, you ready for the weekend, buddy?
Oh, I got a long way to go before the weekend gets here. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I know my wife's like, hey, it's Friday. I'm like, yeah, my week is just picking up. So
yeah, exactly.
Here we go.
That's exactly how I feel. It's like, yeah, great. I've got another baseball show to do, and then I've got an article to write, and then I got a show on Sunday. So, yeah, looking great.
Tailgate Teasers, college football show, Saturday morning. We got a lot coming up on elitefantasy.com and elitesportsbetting.com. For Seige, I am Duke. Good luck this weekend. Adios.